All right, this should enrage every single American, but the media isn't talking about it in a responsible way. So we're gonna dig deep into Donald Trump's abuse of taxpayer dollars over the past few months, the past few weeks especially, to enrich himself, promote his businesses, and take lavish trips with a bunch of security to go open a new golf course in Scotland. You know, people haven't been talking about this enough, so my team and I went through and added up some really high level numbers of waste that Trump has done over the past few months, and it's shocking. It is literally shocking. We didn't even get to every single golf trip or every single stay at Mar-a-Lago or every single expense for his sons, but we did add up some really high level numbers. Like, did you guys know that when Donald Trump took that $400 million jet from Qatar, he's now spending up to $900 million of taxpayer funds to refurbish the plane? There's a lot of security maintenance stuff that you have to do, understandably. Like, taking that level of jet is an insane amount of corruption. But once we have it, of course we have to strip it and make sure there aren't bugs and bombs. It's all such a dumb situation, and it costs a lot of money. So I don't want to hear about waste, fraud, and abuse from Republicans while they greenlight stuff like this. So let's walk through, beginning to end, Donald Trump's golf course that he just opened, some of the abuses of taxpayer funds that we've seen over the past few months. But can we just start here? The White House tweeted out, the White House's own account says, President Trump participates in a grand opening ceremony of Trump International Golf Links, Aberdeen. First of all, why is the White House's Twitter account promoting Trump's personal businesses? The Trump International Golf Course in Aberdeen has nothing to do with the presidency or helping the American people. This is just hubris at this point. Then someone on Twitter went super viral. This is a little bit wrong, but they said they made Jimmy Carter sell his peanut farm. Now, that's not exactly what happened, but the overall message is solid. The real story is that Jimmy Carter was elected in 1976, and there were some concerns about conflicts of interest since he owned and operated a family peanut farm, but there was no law, zero law requiring him to sell the farm or do anything to it, so he took the voluntary step of putting his farm into a blind trust right before his inauguration, which happened in 77, it would be. So right before he was inaugurated in 1977, he puts his farm into a blind trust, and it was kind of like a symbol of his humble beginnings, his humble background, his ability to understand that, hey, there are conflicts of interest here. Then he would always say, listen, you can say whatever you want about me, but you cannot say that I'm doing this to enrich myself. And, you know, he set a new standard for how ethics work in the presidency. Now Trump is rewriting that standard in potentially the worst way possible. So this person makes like a valid point. They're a little bit wrong historically. They say they made Jimmy Carter sell his peanut farm. This got like millions of views. I honestly think that is it's a comparison we should draw a lot. Listen, back in the day, presidents used to sell their businesses or put their farms into blind trusts and put their money away. Donald Trump is just openly using this for himself. Republicans against Trump even points out, why is it acceptable for the president to use taxpayer money to fly overseas and cut a ribbon at his own golf course? Don't normalize this abuse of office. It's blatant corruption. Can I play perhaps one of the cringiest videos I've ever seen? This comes from the Donald Trump Rapid Response account. The Rapid Response 47 official account says, Donald Trump cuts the ribbon, officially opening the new golf course. We have the president's accounts just like bragging about corruption in the name of the executive branch. Let's listen to this clip, but if I could ask, make sure you drop a like on the video below and make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mockler feed. It's the best way to get the breaking news content. You can be the first to watch our debates and help spread the message. Thank you all.
So may God bless everyone here and everyone everywhere. We have a world that's had some conflict, but we've ironed out a lot of it. We have a great and peaceful world. On a much smaller scale, this will be a tremendously successful place, a place where people can come and enjoy life, and it's very special. So I hope everybody in Scotland and well beyond Scotland enjoys it for many, many years.
He's just mumbling to himself. Wu-Tang was for the children said on Twitter, wait, so taxpayers paid $10 million for Trump's trip to Scotland so he can cut a ribbon on his new golf course. That is literally what happened. This article reads, Donald Trump used your taxpayer dollars to open his new Scottish golf course. President Donald Trump continued his profit off the presidency world tour this weekend with another stop in Scotland, which cost $10 million. Can I remind you, that $10 million is on top of $40 million, which was spent last month on a military parade that was really cheap. So that's $50 million right there. There's also hundreds of millions of dollars that will need to be spent refurbishing Donald Trump's new Qatari jet. That is a huge security risk. That's another, let's say, $800 million if we want to be conservative. We're already getting up into the billions of waste, and that's before we even dig into some of the other stories. On Monday, Trump cut the ribbon at the Trump International Golf Links Aberdeen, which will officially open to the playing public on August 13th. He took a whole-ass trip as the President of the United States to open a golf course. He is taking personal trips to open personal businesses in his family's name. The president was accompanied by his sons, Eric and Don Jr., or Dumb and Dumber, or Beavis and Butthead, whatever you want to call them, who have taken the helm of their father's real estate, licensing, and growing cryptocurrency empire while he occupies the White House. First of all, they haven't taken the helm because Trump is still actively taking a role in all of this. I mean, you can just watch this right there. He literally cut the ribbon. He literally flew all of his Secret Service and security in his cabinet to go open this. So he is taking a role. Secondly, he's using the office of the presidency to help his sons and their growing crypto empire and their real estate empire and their golf empire. And I don't know what happened to the beauty pageants. He used to have a bunch of beauty pageants at his peak friendship with Epstein. That's creepy as hell. But yeah, they're building all of these empires, and Trump is using his presidency to, put his thumb on the scale and help them out. And then people act like it's two separate things. It's not. So Trump wielded a pair of golden scissors, corny as hell. And then he said, quote, "We have a world that's had some conflict, but we've ironed out a lot of it." Man, iron out your own conflicts of interest. He said, quote, "We're going to have a great and peaceful world, and on a much smaller scale, this will be a tremendously successful place, a place where people can come and enjoy life." It's like how he was talking about Gaza, too. I also want to point out that even Fox News wrote an article that kind of had some disbelief in it. It says, Trump boasts he, quote, "stopped about 5 wars while opening new Scotland golf course, vows to work with Netanyahu." So even Fox News was like, you stopped about 5 wars? Ask any Trump supporter who defends this, what 5 wars did Trump stop that he claimed he stopped? Trump is going around claiming he stopped 5 new wars. Name them. Name 4 of them. Name 3 of them. You can't name any of them. He might vaguely claim he stopped the Israel and Palestine war before it got to a point. Then he'll also claim he stopped Iran and the United States and Israel from all getting into a war. But this is another case of him acting like the arsonist and the firefighter at the same time. So he'll inflame a war. He'll strike Iran. Then he'll act like he's the firefighter who put the war out. There's a really, really interesting article that I always cite from the New York Times, which talks about Hillary Clinton's scandals back in the 90s compared to Trump scandals today. And this one always gets me. Just listen. When Hillary Clinton was the first lady, a furor erupted over reports that she had once made less than $100,000 in cattle futures from a $1,000 investment. Even though it had happened a dozen years before her husband became president, it became a scandal that lasted weeks and forced the White House to initiate a review. So the White House initiated a review. There was a weeks-long scandal because Hillary Clinton turned 1,000 into 100,000 a dozen years, 12 years before they even entered the White House back in the 90s. 31 years later, after dinner at Mar-a-Lago, Jeff Bezos agreed to finance a promotional film about Melania Trump that will reportedly put $28 million directly in her pocket. 280 times the Clinton bag, and in this case, from a person with a vested interest in policies set by her husband's government. Scandal? Furor? Washington moved on while barely taking a notice. There was maybe one video about it, one story about it, one article about it, and then everything hit the fan with Pete Hegseth right after that, which, there's so many things happening. We have to move on and cover things, but there's so much corruption, it's hard to even blink an eye. 31 years later, Jeff Bezos finances this film. And the point they make is Jeff Bezos has a direct interest in the policies of the presidency. The Trumps are hardly the first presidential family to profit from their time in power, but they have done more to monetize the presidency than anyone who has ever occupied the White House. I mean, presidents have been writing books after they leave office for a while. That's not even that offensive. I think it's actually not bad for a president to write a book about their experience so they can live out a comfortable life. That's fine. Better than using taxpayer dollars. If people want to buy your book, then sure. But this is a little bit different. The Trump family and its business partners have collected $320 million in fees from a new cryptocurrency. And this was like a month into their presidency. A month into the presidency. This is not writing a book after you leave. To continue. The Trump family and its business partners have collected $320 million in fees from a new cryptocurrency, brokered overseas real estate deals worth billions of dollars, and are opening an exclusive club in Washington called the Executive Branch, charging $500,000 apiece to join, all in the past few months alone. And this isn't even mentioning the trips to Mar-a-Lago on taxpayer dollars that helps enrich Trump, the trips to Scotland on taxpayer dollars that open up new Gulf facilities, all of the corruption going on with cryptocurrency and Trump coin. Just last week, for example, this was actually written a few months back, but Qatar handed over a luxury jet meant for Mr. Trump's use, not just in the official capacity, but also for his presidential library, his own personal library. And Mr. Trump hosted an exclusive dinner at his Virginia club for 220 investors in the Trump cryptocurrency that he started days before taking office in January. He was leveraging the hype of his own inauguration to start a cryptocurrency that made his family rich, and now he's literally exempting people from SEC investigations if they invest in his cryptocurrency. Look up Justin Sun. Justin Sun was being investigated by the SEC. Then the investigation was dropped because he put money into Trump coin. By conventional Washington standards, according to students of official graft, the still young Trump administration is a candidate for the most brazen use of government office in history, perhaps eclipsing even Teapot Dome, Watergate, and other famous scandals. I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to continue to fight every single day against the corruption of the Trump administration. And your guys' help means the world to me. Every single time you watch a video or spend 5 minutes with me, 10 minutes with me, or share the videos around, it means the world. All that I ask from you is to go, follow me on my Instagram. It's Adam Mockler. You can find it below. We have a Reddit that you can join and post memes. We have Twitter, Discord. We're everywhere. Make sure you go follow us. And most of all, make sure you're subscribed to the channel below. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.